about 10 Latino tribes that have to be brought into this. 9 including without the Haitians. We have to bring them in. Their lives are in danger too. Many of them are living in third world countries, living in shacks, living in hell, eating one meal or half a meal a day or a meal every other day. We've got to fight to bring them in, and we can't turn back from it.
That's right.
No matter what.
That's right.
And just to add to what the pastor was saying, it is a battle, man.
All right, moving right along. Question 4. What is your point of view of the state of the black community in America? Now with this, I think we're gonna go a little longer because I don't think you can sum that up in 3 minutes. So this pertains to each panelist. What is your point of view of the state of black, SHALAM? That means excuse me in Hebrew, I guess. What is your point of view of the state of the black community in America?
Well, I'm going to start by saying I'll share my thing with the other 2 panelists because I struggle with this question. And I struggle with it because for me, the black community is not a monolith. It's not just one. We're not all alike. Not all areas are alike. So the community has parts and aspects and pieces and differences. Just like there's a difference between a New York black person and a California black person. There's sure enough a difference between black in California and a black in Kentucky. So our needs are different based on where we are, and not just where we are, but our economic status. And perhaps for me, the one thing that we do have in common, I would say, one of the things that I look at is a need to remember, or perhaps in some cases, learn our story. In many cases, we don't know who we are. I'm not just talking about your family tree, but as a people, we've either lost the story, forgotten the story, or we never heard the story. So some of us need a refresher in reminding ourselves who we are as far as who we are as people. And then I believe we can begin to rebuild and build our communities.
Doctor, I want to clap a little longer on that one. That was a hell of an answer. I get to come on, get up here one more time. That was excuse my terminology. I'm from the street, so you might hear a word or two that doesn't fit. Forgive me, that's what Christ said, right? Doc, what you said is so powerful in this. If we don't know who we are, we are destined to be eaten alive. And that's what's happened to us here. We don't have our identity back. And that's why I thank the Lord for waking me up and making me a Hebrew Israelite. Because Hebrew Israelites know that they have a identity and they're selfish about their identity. They don't just let anybody become part of their identity. And that identity, not having that identity, might seem like it's not important when growing and learning with Christ. But it is extremely important to know who as a people that you are. If you don't know who you are, how can you build on anything? Which is the whole point of them stripping us of our identity. Okay? The whole point of taking away that identity, like what benefit did they have by taking our identity? It didn't make us more productive. It didn't give them more money. It didn't allow them to sell us for any more money, but it did do something for them. It made us permanent slaves. It made us take on a slave mentality. It made us never understanding how to go forward. It made every other nation goes into their history for signs and experiences on what they should do in the future. What about us? We can't even go into, even our fathers and fathers can't even go and say, well, our ancestors did this and did that. But when I found out that we were Hebrew Israelites, that we come from that bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then I knew we had a history. I knew we had 4,000 years of black, Latino, and Native Indian culture that was in that Bible, man. And it was all in there. Then I had something to stand on. Like the doctor said, you can't go forward. Now, this is a doctor. Hold it now. This is a PhD sitting right there. And shit, because I know what someone's going to say, oh, that Hebrew Israelite talk. Doctor said it. She went before me. Okay? And she, so, and listen, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, but you did this strictly from an analyzing the actual situation. Right. And if you use your intelligence and analyze the situation, you will come to the same conclusion the doctors came to. And I came to it only because through the grace and mercy of the Lord, I was able to study the Bible and realize that the whole entire Bible is talking about the differences between the Hebrews and every other nation that they interacted with. Right. That's what it's talking about. So it made me have to say to myself, well, who are we? And then I found out that Christ was a black man. We can talk about so much, but boy, why is it the world will not acknowledge that Christ is black? Right. If anybody needed, you telling me these young brothers in these streets and in these prisons don't need to know that? Right. They don't need, we talk about role models, ball player role model. I got a role model. I got a real mean black dude, man, that I follow. His name is Jesus Christ. That's his name. And he's a hell of a role model. He's the #1 role model that needs to be followed. You see what I'm saying? So thank you again, Doc. I'm going to pass my time. I'm probably over my time. You got me, Doc, on that.
Hey, Pastor, if you could answer the question in slide here. Question 4, what is your point of view of the state of the black community in America?
Yes, sir. First and foremost, Commander General, you don't go over time, we boss. So we borrow on your time. But once again, I tried to stand on the shoulders of my fellow panelists, which is why you may hear me reference some things that they say. Also, doctors, he just referred to, the commander just referred to role models. It's ironic because I was writing some things down. I share the sentiments of Doctor concerning our heritage and knowing who we are and where we come from. But I was definitely going to go to the point of role models. Reason being, the question asked about the point of view, the state of our black community. And here's what happens. If we look at the fact that we are less than 20% of the population of America, yet we make up over 70% of the penal system. Right. That state will tell us that is an issue. Right. When we look at the divorce rate or the amount of women who are single mothers, that will tell you that the state of our community is an issue. We figure out how many of our fellow brothers have been slapped with felonies. Right. It amazes me how selling weed now is a corporate America thing. Right. When I got family members still locked up today because the white police officer pulled them over because they had a roach in the car. Right. But now they have quit their jobs and they're making 6 figures selling weed. Right. So we understand that the state of our community is in trouble. But here's what I wanted to talk about the role models, because my opinion is this. When we look at a Barack Obama, when we look at a Oprah Winfrey, when we look at a LeBron James, a Dr. Dre, a Kevin Hart, a Tyler Perry, a Bishop T.D. Jakes, when we look at these particular people who are billionaires and high millionaires, and the list goes on and on. When we were talking about New York, when a Jay-Z can come from Brooklyn to being worth over half of $1 billion. You know, when we look at how LeBron James can come from a single parent home and his new deal with the Lakers, he's now a billionaire in assets. When we look at Dr. Dre coming out of Compton, selling drugs, NWA, and now he's a billionaire in assets. When we look at Barack Obama, wherever he's from, whether it be Africa, Hawaii, or south side of Chicago, but to become a president, when we look at that, the state of our community is bright. The problem is we have to remember where we come from, and it's our job that when we get out, we got to know how to pull others out. And I think that's where the state has continued to oppress us, because we go so far. Some of us make it, and we forget. We forget. And that's what makes the message of Jesus Christ. That's what makes your existence here, being here, because everyone here says, somebody reached back, they got me. Somebody taught me. Somebody changed my perspective. And because your perspective was changed, you're in this room today. Now it's your job to be that disciple and reach back and grab somebody and change their perspective. Be the father you never had. Be the husband